The next fighter we're going to rate on Boxing Bros is none other than Joseph Parker. And I'm afraid to even ask Ned, what do you rate Joseph Parker's power?
I gave him an 85 for his power. Joseph Parker actually has decent power, yo. And he has great power, actually, you know. It's not knockout, one-punch power, like we said before, but he has power in his hands. And that's what I give him, 85.
All right. Trill. I'm going to go with G next. G, what do you give Joseph Parker's power?
All right. I give Joseph Parker 70. You know,
gosh.
Let me explain. Can I explain? Yeah, can I just explain? Yo, I'm just being honest. Yo, Joseph Parker has a 72 KO record, right? But this is the issue. Whenever he fights top tier opponents, he doesn't knock them out, right? He fought Carlos Takam, decision, Ruiz, decision, Huey Fury, decision, and he lost to Anthony Joshua and Dillian White. And remember when he fought the old school Samoan truck driver?
I knew you were gonna go there.
He struggled to knock him out, you know. So I'm being honest. Excuse me. I'm not necessarily sold on Joseph Parker's power like that, because the times he could show like, all right, this is your opportunity to prove to us that you got that devastating power. He doesn't deliver, so I have to give him a 70.
All right, man. I don't agree with it, but I respect it. Trill.
Okay. I mean, shout out to all the Samoans out there that always show us love. And shout out to New Zealand, and shout out to Joseph Parker, the Samoan warrior. I give him an 80 on power.
All right.
But I agree though with G. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't knock out the top guys, but he got some pop in there to make them respect him. You know what I'm saying? So I give him an 80.
Oh yeah, if you saw I gave him an 85, I might have moved the screen too fast, but I gave him an 85. And Trill touched on why I gave him the 85. You know, it's funny. Joseph Parker, yeah, he's not like a one-punch knockout artist, but people respect him in the ring. People don't just try to walk through him. I saw even, you know, look at the fight Andy Ruiz with Joseph Parker. You know, he got his respect in there. Joseph Parker got his respect. Joseph Parker dropped Dillian, right? You got to understand, Joseph Parker is no slouch in there. Joseph Parker got popped. Look at the way people react. See, Joseph Parker's a boxer first. Boxers don't look for the KO. I'm telling you right now, there are plenty of times Floyd could have knocked out the guys he outclassed. He just never stepped it up. There's a reason those guys stop rushing in. They come in believing that they're going to knock Floyd out, believing that they can push him over. There's a reason why by the 8th round, they're just standing there afraid to throw punches. Now, Floyd could press him if he wants to, but then that opens him up to being knocked out. So he says, I'm just going to take these points and bounce. That's what Tyson Fury does most of the time. But I can tell he felt like he had to knock out Wilder to get to win the fight because he couldn't get a decision. So most of the time, Joseph Parker's just like, I'm going to let it come to me. And so that's why he doesn't have the knockouts. But he got popped. You could tell by the way people react in that ring when Joseph Parker lands the shots on him. He got popped. So that's why I gave him 85. And he dropped quality opponents too, like Dillian.
Poor Dillian.
Poor Dillian. We love Dillian though. Hey. Speed. Ned, what do you give my man Joseph Parker?
I gave him a 94 on speed. Joseph Parker has some fast hands. You know, he's known for his speed. So I give him 94. And, you know, his power is low, but speed generates power. That's where his power comes from.
Uh-oh, Ned. Ned making sense for once in his life.
Hey, man.
G-Man.
Hey, yo, Ned, salute, man. I like your explanation.
Not all hate.
Exactly. I gave him a 90 for speed. Me personally, I think like Parker arguably has the fastest jab in the heavyweight division. I personally think he has the fastest jab, right? And another attribute that I attribute to Joseph Parker is, unlike Wilder, who it seems like, you know, his fastest punch is usually straight right or the left hook. Any punch that Joseph Parker throws has the same speed, and so that's another great attribute that he has. So I give him a 90 for speed.
All right. Trill, what you give him?
I concur.
90?
Exactly.
Okay. Anything you want
So
to
my
add?
age-
Or you feel like you good?
G was looking at my notes.
It's about time you and G agree.
Took my notes.
All right, man. You know what? This is gonna be hilarious when I write my score, because I feel like that's my score. Might be the most unanimous thing we've had for Boxing Bros. So I gave him a 90. So 90 for Joseph Parker in the speed department. We all somewhat agree on that category.
Hold on,
So
that averaged a 90?
91. I didn't write 91?
Nah, you wrote 90.
Oh,
You give my man his points, man.
good catch, bro. Good catch. All right, Ned.
I gave him a 92 on stamina, you know.
92?
He can go the distance. He's done it plenty of times. He may not win the decision sometimes, but he can go the distance.
G.
This was actually the hardest category for me to grade Joseph Parker, right? Because, you know, I'm the type of person, what have you done for me lately? And his last two performances, he didn't look as sharp as he did in previous fights. However, you know, he's good at pacing himself. So he doesn't, his punch output doesn't like decline to a degree where it's that noticeable, you know, in later rounds like that. I have seen him in those past two fights, you know, breathing with his mouth open. But, you know, I think it could be the quality of the opponent. And so if he's fighting a nobody, he doesn't really, I don't think he's as committed with training, or maybe he's just inactive because he's trying to find fights. But when he fights the top guys, he's always in top-notch shape. So for that, I give him 90 for stamina.
90?
This was hard, 90, but it was a hard decision for me.
True. I don't know what's going on with Trill. Trill like eating a hurricane. What's good, bro?
Yo, I'm looking for the camera. I'm looking for the camera. That's what I'm looking for. G, how you gonna
Silly
keep?
notes.
Oh, yo, I got him at a 90 for exactly everything. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. You know what I'm saying? I have him at a 90. Parker at a 90. I can't make this up. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, G and Trill agreed
Get out of my
again.
head, G.
I'm having a flashback to like that string of like 3 weeks where you and G were like best buddies agreeing on everything. It was one of the worst times in Boxing Bros history. All right. So
We Biggie and Martin.
so here we go. For me, it looks like I'm gonna have to ruin the party. Oops, sorry, that didn't go through. I'm gonna have to ruin the party with my 82. I agree with you guys. Joseph Parker, his stamina and his big fights, Dillian White, Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz was 90, without a doubt. But his last two performances, he did look a little fatigued in there. I believe it was the quality of the opponent. I couldn't just overlook those two, so I docked him 8 points for that and gave him an 82, which I still feel like is a fair score for him. But I do agree with your scores are fine, and it's at his best I give him 90. But factor in his last two performances, I docked him 4 per performance. So. Which leaves us with 89.
Respect it.
Chin, Joseph Parker, Ned.
I give Joseph Parker's chin an 89. You know, you never seen him really get knocked down or put on his back. You haven't seen it. Haven't seen him get knocked out. And his chin's an 89. I'll get to why I gave it an 89 in a second. Yeah. In the later categories.
He look like he got
Ned,
something to say.
No, Ned, you do know Dillian White did drop him though. Just to let you know.
Oh, well, that's why it's an 89.
That's not what you just said though.
It's 89. It's 89.
That's strong and wrong, son.
And that's also
But
why
if
I
I
gave
gave him
Dillian the body
95.
snatcher White a 94 with his power.
Oh,
Cause Dillian be dropping mofos, man. You heard AJ? Dillian, listen, you don't want to get hit by Dillian, dog. All right, G, what'd you give him for the chin?
for the chin, I gave him a 85. I've seen him take like good, like straight lefts and straight rights from Joshua. I've seen him take left hooks and uppercuts from Dillian White. I remember one of the hooks actually dropped him, but he got up like it didn't phase him. So clearly he has a sturdy chin. So because of that, I give him an 85.
True.
This is bullshit. You got to call on me first, cause listen. I got an 85. I don't want to listen. Listen. This is crazy. I have an 85. I have an 85. 90, 90, 85.
Yo, you giving away Chisora stats, man.
No, I know, right?
Wait, y'all saw Tesora? I didn't see it. Y'all saw Tesora?
Oh, man.
Let's not talk about it.
Oh, man.
That was like my grades back in high school.
Wow.
What we on, chin?
Yeah, we on chin, and I gave him an 85 too.
All right. Screen real quick. Keep up with my duties. 85. I gave him a 90. So for me, for all the reasons you stated, mainly the fact he was able to survive with Dillian, the shots he took from Joshua. Andy Ruiz, in my opinion, is a pretty good puncher, and he was able to take the shots from Ruiz. I think his chin is solid. He's been in there with solid opponents, and he goes the distance. So for that reason, my man Joseph Parker with a 90 from me.
Shout out to Joseph Parker, 27-2 with 21 KOs.
And he's young.
Yeah.
Exactly.
87. Footwork, Ned. What the heck do you have for us?
For his footwork, I gave him 89. You know, he has some decent footwork, solid footwork. So I can't really give him a lower score than 89. Can't give it too high either.
G, what do you have for us?
Don't worry. I know Trill doesn't give scores like this, so I gave him an 82 for footwork. And the reason why,
Back in the game.
he could fight off the back foot. You know, he's never stationary. But this is where I had to give him some deductions, right? Kind of like what you alluded to earlier, Caden. Like, he's similar to Fury, not the last fight with Wilder, the rematch, but previous Fury fights where he never plants his feet to generate enough force for his power shots. And because of that, I'm like, he could do so much more if he just planted his feet. And so because of that, I had to give him some point deductions. So I gave him an 82 for that.
Yeah, he also said that himself, that he's working to try to generate more power on his shots.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, he's Samoan. And there's one thing about, the football players, what I'm saying, that Samoan, they have great footwork. You know what I'm saying? And I think he has great footwork also. And I gave him a 90.
So my rating for his footwork 88. For all the reasons that you guys stated. I mean, the reason why I docked him a few points was I felt like in the Joshua fight as a pursuer, he should have been able to cut the ring off better, especially when you think foot speed. Particularly at that time, I feel like he had the better foot speed. And also transitioning from moving to planting to generate power, like G said, I think is what he has to work on. It's okay to be a boxer, but like when you step in, then you have to stop and plant for the shots to generate. Exactly. And I feel like he has to work on that transition. He's even said it himself that he's working on it. So, but still, his footwork is terrific. And I think those are fair scores. All right. 89, 82, 90 plus. All right, we have another 87. For footwork, 87. Joseph Parker. Heart. Joseph Parker, rate his heart, Ned.
I had to give him a 75 for his heart. And this is why I wanted to break down Joseph Parker right. He's 28 years old. He's a young fighter. He has elite skill set. But when he steps in the ring with other elite fighters, he doesn't fight his fight, and he's more timid, and it's more of a reserve fight. If Joseph Parker, we could see another 10 years of Joseph Parker. He could fight till he's 38, 40 years old. He could be the next face. He could be, Joshua. He could outlast Joshua, Fury, Wilder in the next couple of years. He could be the face of boxing. But if he doesn't build that courage to dictate a fight, then it will continue to drop in the coming years. But I'll give him a 75 right now. But if he learns to dictate fights and they make fighters fight his fight, unlike the truck drivers and other low caliber fighters.
Time out. If he learns to dictate fights, that's a direct quote from what you just said. Is that IQ or is that heart?
Heart. No, like he comes in timid, like he doesn't.
Okay,
fight
so stick to him being timid. You're going through logics. You understand what I'm saying?
All right, no problem.
So if you believe that he's timid, then that means you feel like he.
Nah, you know what? Yo, Ned, I got your back. I see where you're going.
I'm just saying later on. Not right now.
I'm walking with him, but he's spending too much time on the IQ aspect.
No, not the IQ.
He's timid because he doesn't fight his fight and all this stuff.
He doesn't fight his fight. That's why I give him a 75. All right.
He's like, yeah, I'm done. All right. Man, listen. Man, Kaden, if you thought that was bad, you about to hate me.
Oh, God.
I'm be honest, I gave him a 65. And hold on, y'all gotta walk with me for real. Yo, listen to me on this. And this is why I said I agree with what you're saying, Ned.
Thank you.
My number is based upon his confidence in the ring, right? So when he fought Anthony Joshua, he was afraid to exchange. Like, and on top of that, when he fought Dillian White, there was times where I was like, oh, he's doing pretty good. Until he gets hit. And then once Dillian hits him with a good shot, he gets on his bike, And so I think he's overly defensive. But I don't know if his overly defensiveness is due to IQ or due to a lack of courage. And that's why I said I agree with what Ned was alluding to, because it could be boxing IQ. That's why he's overly defensive. Or it could just be he shook, And so I like to believe he's more on the less confident side. And so because of that, I gave him a 65 for heart.
Oh, man. We might have to have a discussion about this. I'll put that 65 down. True, what'd you give him?
I gave him 100. Now, let me explain why. From the beginning, I gave him
doing good this whole time, man. This whole time.
I gave him a big intro, you know what I'm saying, as being a Samoan warrior. You know why? Because we always said he had heart. We did an episode on Boxing Bros where all we did was talk about Joseph Parker's heart and about, you know what I'm saying, he wouldn't do nothing corny to get out of a fight or nothing like that. As far as courage goes, I mean, in the ring, I I don't think it takes away from your heart if somebody else is better than you. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, like you can have all the heart in the world, somebody just be better than you. You know what I'm saying? Listen, me and Caden play basketball. Okay, I would like to say I have all the heart in the world. I die for the basketball. And I do all the extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? I even, foul, even extra aggressive. But he's better. You know what I'm saying? But he's better. You know what I'm saying? So you're not gonna be like, oh, he don't got no heart because Caden just dunked on him. No, you know what I'm saying? No, his IQ on basketball is a little bit better than mine. You know what I'm saying? But I can sing better than him. You know what I'm saying?
That might be true.
So I think he has a big heart, and I think he fights with the pride of his people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm giving him 100.
I hear you, yo. He may be star on the court, but you a star with the mic, man. I hear you, dog.
I hear what y'all are saying, but I equate it to this. I like that basketball analogy, but imagine if Trill, right, you're defending against Caden, and Caden is taking it to the rack, right? And you're in your mind, you're like, yo, I'm not trying to get dunked on. Let me just move out the way. Yo, that to me is Joseph Parker. You know,
you said that's Joseph Parker?
Yeah, that's Joseph Parker. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, man, stay in the paint, 10 toes down, and defend. He's not going to do that because he's afraid he might get, the nutsack in his face. So he's just like, all right, yo, you got that, bro.
Be a post.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to grab his shirt before he even gets there. So,
all right, I gave him an 88. And so the reason why I gave him an 88 is this. I'll say this. We have two heavyweights that I'm going to compare. We have Deontay Wilder. We have Joseph Parker. I'm going to put a finger down every time I name an opponent that these fighters fought. Deontay Wilder, Joseph Parker. So Andy Ruiz, Dillian White, Anthony Joshua. Say that these two fingers add up. What is this? Tyson Fury and whatever. This one is really the only one that matters. So we'll have this. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. You see, Joseph Parker has the courage to step into the ring with guys who might actually beat him. That's all heart. Deontay Wilder stepped into the ring with a man who could actually beat him one time, and he did beat him. You see, and Wilder only got the courage to step in the ring with him after he was off for 2.5 years, was 400 pounds, doing cocaine and doing all types of stuff to his body. That's when Wilder stepped in. The Wildettes of the world can say whatever they want. What I'm saying is in my opinion because I'm infatuated with Deontay Wilder. What's a fact is he didn't fight Tyson Fury till he was off for 2 years. What's a fact, 2.5 years. What's a fact is Tyson Fury was 400 pounds and had to lose weight. What's a fact is Tyson Fury called him out when he was active and Deontay Wilder said, I have to fight my mandatories. Those are facts. It's not my love affair with anything. Those are facts. What's a fact? Joseph Parker stepped in the ring with Anthony Joshua when he was a champion trying to unify the belts. Fact. What's a fact? Joseph Parker won the belt, vacant title, fighting Andy Ruiz. Fact. What's another fact? He tried to become the #1 mandatory by fighting Dillian White, a guy who's been chasing Deontay Wilder for the longest time. Fact. Heart. Talk about heart. Dillian White knocks him down. He gets up and knocks Dillian White down and almost wins the fight. All heart. I don't want to hear nothing about it. You can hold the Joshua fight against him. He's had fights after the Joshua fight. Dillian was after the Joshua fight. 28 years old. 28 years old and is already taking on more competition than the 34-year-old 10 defense guy, reigning champ. Man, please, he's all heart. 88 for my man. And for that, and I'm saying I feel like we should get rid of that 65.
My 65 is legit.
I'm being real. That score is not legit.
Nah, my score is legit, bro.
That's just my opinion, bro. That score is not legit.
Nah, my score is legit. I'm fan balanced. Yo, his heart.
What did you give Wilder for heart, bro?
Hold on, let me see. I gave Wilder 90 for heart.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I'm not counting that 65, dog. Wilder gets a 90, but Joseph Parker gets an 88.
Yo, listen.
No, well,
Explain
Joseph
that.
Parker got a
Explain that.
65.
Explain that.
Hmm?
Joseph Parker got a
Explain that.
65.
Yo, I literally just explained why I gave Joseph Parker 65. It's the confidence in the ring. You know, like literally, he's real timid. Excuse me. He's afraid to exchange, especially when guys is coming at him. If he gets hurt, he gets on the bike. These are all attributes that I'm like, yo, it
Did
shows
Wilder
like,
exchange with Tyson Fury? Did
yeah,
Wilder
and he
exchange
almost
with
died in
Tyson
the
Fury?
process. Yeah, he almost
No, he
died in the
didn't.
process.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he
Wilder,
did, bro.
in the second round, everybody, this is what I love about this. You can watch the fight. I've seen the fight so many times. All I got to do is see a fight twice. I remember it like it's a movie. Listen, Wilder threw right hands in the second round, and he threw some in the third round. From the moment that Tyson Fury cracked him on the ear, popped his eardrum, and he went down, he did not exchange with Tyson Fury. Exchange means that you are in a back and forth slugfest. Deontay Wilder never exchanged with Tyson Fury. There was never a moment in the fight where they were going blow for blow. He was running from Tyson Fury the whole fight like a coward.
We're talking about Wilder, who was rocked in that fight.
So how do you know Joseph Parker was never rocked?
The difference with Parker would get a hit and just be like, oh, yeah, I'm all set. And then he starts backing off. That's the difference.
Look
up the word. I'm
not talking to G, but I'm saying look up the word caveat, right? So what G's now doing is G made a point. But as soon as I show how his point doesn't fit Deontay Wilder, he adds a caveat. But see, Wilder was rocked. Now you want to make an excuse for Wilder. No, keep that same energy for your rating system.
I do though, but
rocked. He never
Wilder was rocked, but that
Fury.
doesn't have anything to do with his heart. Wilder was
no. I understand what you're saying, G. But I think where Caden's coming from is like you took a lot for that. You took 35 points away for that one thing. You know what I'm saying?
But it's a consistent thing that he does in all his fights. And that's why I'm like, that has to be a deduction.
He's consistently fighting elite level competition.
No, I agree.
I agree with some of the stuff that you said, G, but some of the stuff that you said I credited to IQ.
You see, but yeah, and I credit it to lack of courage. And so because of lack of courage, I was like, yo, that goes to heart. So that's why I deducted him so much.
So what do you deduct? So lack of courage. This is what I'm talking about. And my issue isn't even this. Here's where I'm coming from, Trill. And here's where I'm coming from, Ned. And I'm excluding G from this. I'm not the one who made a video about other people's scores. That's not me. G did that. Complex did that. They made a video about our scores because they don't like our scores. And I'm not in that video to defend what they say about me, right? He's here right now, so I'm going to bring it to him right now. My point is, you can't make up a video because you don't like other people's scores, right? And then come in here with your scores where you're not being consistent. I don't want to have to make another video to call you out on your inconsistency. I'm calling you out right now.
I disagree with you. I stay consistent.
You can, but that's why I'm going to everyone else. I feel like the 65 is too low. When you talk about he's too cautious in the ring, but he's fighting elite level competition. I named 3 fighters: Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua, and Dillian White. Deontay Wilder's never fought them. I guarantee you, though, he looked cautious as hell in the ring against those guys. The one guy he did fight, though, Tyson Fury, he looked very cautious. Not only did he look cautious, I'm going to show you something. This is the towel. Please tell me how many times they threw in a towel for Joseph Parker in all his elite fights. Never. You still gave that man a 90 for heart. You gave a man whose corner threw in the towel a 90 for heart.
I think your argument is kind of proving my point.
No, it's not proving your point.
Yo, his corner did it, not him.
But he hasn't fought those guys. The time he fought a good fighter, he looked cautious as hell. He looked so cautious, his corner said, "Let me save you."
I don't see it the way you see it.
Joseph Parker has been in the ring with Anthony Joshua, went the distance. Been in the ring with Andy Ruiz, went the distance. Been in the ring with Dillian White, went the distance. The time your guy went in there with a good fighter, he got his corner throwing the towel.
Yeah,
How is
but
that
that still
Hart?
doesn't equate to poor heart on Deontay Wilder.
You said because of exchanges. Please tell me the sequence where Wilder exchanged with Tyson Fury in the second fight.
In the second fight, even when he was hurt, he was still throwing. Remember, he was throwing the right hand. He wasn't connecting because he was hurt. That's not an exchange. No, what I'm saying is this: he's hurt. There's a difference between being like, yo, you don't even have the legs underneath you because you're hurt, versus you just got hit and you're like, yeah, you know what? I don't think I want to exchange with this guy, so let me just stay on my bike. That's just a clear difference.
No, it's not. How do you know Joseph Parker wasn't hurt, and that's why he went on his bike? See, that's what I mean about your.
All right, so let me ask you a question then. All right, in regards to Joseph Parker versus Anthony Joshua. So what was the excuse behind his performance in that fight?
Well, for one, Anthony Joshua is a knockout artist. Thank you. Anthony Joshua is a knockout artist. If you get hit with a right hand by Anthony Joshua, do you really need to wait until you can't control your legs before you say, I'm not going to take too many of those? No, you don't need to. The problem with Deontay Wilder, he thought he was so invincible, and Tyson Fury was pillow fist that when he knocked his equilibrium off, he got battered and bruised like a little punk. That's what happened to him. But you still don't dock him for that. But Joseph Parker.
I'm telling you, your whole argument is not defining why.
I guarantee you this. In the comment section, tell me my argument don't. I don't need to convince you. I know what I do. I know logic. What you're doing is making an excuse. Your excuse was for you rating Wilder's heart a 90 and you giving Joseph Parker a 65 is that Joseph Parker seems timid in the ring and he doesn't exchange as much. Well, you would seem timid when you're fighting better competition, when you're fighting Andy Ruiz, when you're fighting Anthony Joshua, when you're fighting Dillian White. 3 guys who Wilder never stepped in the ring with. The one time Wilder upped the level of competition, he got a draw. The second fight, he looked the most timid I've ever seen. The most timid his corners ever seen, which led to them throwing in the towel. If that don't make sense to you, you need to go back to school. Come on, man. Like, come on.
Let's move on to the IQ.
I just let the comment.
I'm not counting that 65. That's straight bias, yo. If you giving Wilder a 90, I mean, I'm gonna put you like this. I'll put it to a vote. But everyone's 75 this. You think it's fair to give him a 65 for Hart?
It's a little low. But y'all throw my score out, so I say throw his score out, yo.
You see, now that's bias right there.
Go ahead.
That was crazy what he just said. I'm hating because y'all be hating on me. That's your argument.
Your score, it's not that.
That's crazy.
That's my vote.
We don't agree with his score. So we throw it out when we think it's biased. So we're going to let you keep a bad score? You know what we're not going to do?
That's fine. Yo, y'all can take it off. It's cool. I don't mind. Yo, it ain't that serious to me.
We're not going to put the score up and then make a video about it later. We're going to talk about it right now. Go ahead.
All right, now we're being passive.
All right,
this is what that's cool.
This is what I feel. I feel like
I'm just being real, bro. There's everything I got to say, I say it to people in their grill and on the wood. I don't do the behind the back stuff. Never been my style. Go ahead.
I feel like it's really really low. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's really really low. It's 35. It's 35. Well, I do a 5-point rating system, and I start them off at 100. You know what I'm saying? And you have them at a 65, so that means you took 35 points away. That's a lot of points. You know what I'm saying? Especially him being an elite fighter and being there with elite people. I wouldn't say it's because you're a Deontay Wilder fan. I just think that's just a little excessive on the points, taking too much.
I'm just saying, I have no reason to hate on Joseph Parker either.
Yeah.
I just call it like I see it. If y'all feel like that score is too low, it's fine. Whatever, take it out. I don't care.
My thing. If I ever
but it wasn't like I'm like yo, I have a hidden agenda to hate on Joseph Parker. Like, who's Joseph Parker for me to be hating on?
Hey, when we do Derek Chisore, y'all might just kick me off the show for the rest of the
day. Here's my thing. When we do the scores, my score's usually in the realm with everybody else's. If I ever have a score where you guys are like, you know, my score is extremely low, you can argue to bump it off. I'm not going to say, maybe I have a bias or maybe I'm rating someone too harshly. You felt like I rated Wilder too harshly. Unfortunately, you couldn't be there to do the video with us when we did it. You made a rebuttal to the video, but I wasn't present to make my arguments and to defend myself. So you do a video. To me, I'm not there to defend myself. You're not debating me. You're debating something I said without me present, which is something, and it's different. But because you're present with me right now is my point, I can debate you on it right now. So I'm not going to wait until another video to make another video about your score. I'm going to talk to you about your score right now. That's my point.
But, you know, that was never an argument I ever made, bro. You know, you brought that in.
But what I'm saying to you is,
I don't mind us arguing. That's what we do on Boxing Bros. We argue all the time.
What I'm saying to you is, you've taken issue with my score before, but you weren't present to argue it. So you made another video about it. I don't want to have to do that. That's why I'm saying to you right now.
Yeah, you don't have to, because we're literally on the video together.
Exactly.
I'm mad confused right now, bro.
That's my point. So when you're like, don't take your score, I have to argue because I don't want to.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind if you want to dispute my score. Like, hey, that happens. I don't even mind if y'all want to take it out. It's cool with me too.
I think it will average out.
Yeah, it's like, it's whatever to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to keep it in there, keep it in there. You want to take it out. That's fine. You know, but my decision again, I'm a 65, wasn't coming from a biased place. It wasn't like I'm trying to punish Joseph Parker. Like, again, I was the same dude that gave this dude like 90s and stuff for stamina and other things. You get what I'm saying? So that's not the issue. It's just I'm calling it how I see it.
Yeah. He was talking about like the certain thing. What did you get Wilder on Power?
Wilder on Power, I gave him. Hold on, I gave Wilder a 95.
What did you give Andy Ruiz on Power?
Andy Ruiz, I gave him a 75. Joshua, I gave him a 92.
That was the only issue, because I was like, you said about the level of competition. You said that Ruiz didn't knock out, when he got up to an elite competition, you don't knock him out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I was saying that would carry over for Wilder. So I feel
which is true. But remember, he did drop Tyson Fury twice. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So he still has the power.
A layoff Tyson Fury.
No, I agree. But I just go based upon the actual fights itself. You know what I mean?
Andy knocked out a prime. He knocked down a prime AJ. Andy Ruiz knocked down the prime AJ in his prime. You know what I'm saying?
Undefeated.
King of the Hill. I'm not taking anything away from Andy Ruiz, but we're talking about Andy Ruiz, who has a 63%.
No. That's
what I'm talking about.
He was talking about why people would feel like you have a little bit of bias. That's what we was talking about.
Here's what it is, bro. Being 100% real with you, you don't rate Wilder the same way you rate everybody else. And that's my issue with it. You and other people, you guys don't hold Wilder to the same standard you hold other fighters to. You're notorious for saying this on Boxing Bros. Look through the history. Someone will get rocked and hurt, and you'll be like, you don't know the grab? How can you not know the grab? And I would say to you, bro, that person's dazed or whatever. You never said that about Wilder, though. You don't take that in consideration for Wilder's IQ. You don't hold Wilder to the same standard you hold everyone else to. And so that's why your ratings.
Bro, I gave Wilder a 65 for boxing IQ, bro. Like, I don't understand what y'all are saying right now. If I gave him like an 80 or something, I could see what you're arguing. I gave Wilder a 65 for boxing IQ.
My point is, you gave him more heart than you gave Joseph Parker.
Yeah, and I'm being honest with you, your argument that you made to lower Wilder's heart points, to me, increased it, to be honest with you. And that's why I'm like, hey, whatever. We can just have the people in the comments. I think we can just have the people in the comments comment on, if your argument is sound or not. And you know what I mean? So to me, I'm like,
I'm not worried. Every time we do this, the people in the comments don't come for me. So
hey man, listen,
I'm not worried about it. I just think it's like so flawed that a guy fights better competition, tries to unify the titles, right? And he's being docked because he's fighting better fighters. He gets a lower score for fighting better fighters. He gets a lower score for being timid with better fighters. Even if you give Wilder credit because he got beat up by Tyson Fury isn't the hardest puncher of the guys we named. Anthony Joshua hits harder than him. Dillian White hits harder than him. So does Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz hits at least as hard as him, but for some reason, Wilder gets more heart because he got knocked out by a guy he called Pillow Fist. If you think your logic makes sense, bro, it is what it is. But we'll like Trill said, you can respond and we can just move on.
All right. So what was the overall for that?
No, we still didn't do IQ.
IQ. No.
it
What was the
88
overall for the heart?
Overall for heart.
I mean, I personally
88 overall.
I removed the 65 because I felt like there's no way you can give 75 or whatever it was, 65 or whatever it was. You can give Wilder a 90 for heart, but you can say Joseph Parker is a 65. To me, that's extremely low. So I just removed it, averaged it out to 88.
The next is IQ.
All right, Ned, what you got?
I gave him an 85 for boxing IQ, and this is what I want to say on Joseph Parker. Like I said when I was arguing this heart, he doesn't dictate his own fights. He doesn't control his fights. He doesn't fight his fights when he fights elite competition. So if he's only 28 years old, he has the skill set to be one of the greatest boxers we ever seen. If he develops those within the next, before he's even 30 years old, we could see a different fighter for a span of 5 years. So I give him 85. There's room to grow and learn. And yeah.
All right, G.
Yeah, I gave him a 65 to get on your nerves. Nah, I'm playing. nah. I gave Joseph Parker 85. I like the way he utilizes the double jab. It's rare to see heavyweights really utilize that effectively. Tyson Fury is another one. And my flaw though, which is a minor flaw, but is not. It's kind of like the what's his name, Amir Khan effect. He has great speed, but his timing isn't as effective. And so, like when Joseph Parker fought Joshua, although Parker is faster than Joshua was more effective when it comes to landing the shots because he timed them, And so and it could be due to inexperience. He is young. I do believe that Parker is, a smart man, and so more experience will develop his boxing IQ. So I got him at 85.
True.
I got him at 85 also. You know what I'm saying? We all three got 85. I smiled when G said Amir Khan because that's what I was thinking too. He reminded me of like a heavyweight Amir Khan. What I mean by that is not about the chin. Not talking about the chin. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about how fast he is sometimes and he don't, sit down on his punches sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Very Americanish. So, yeah, I gave him 85 on the boxing IQ. I think he can get better. He's still young. You know what I'm saying? These are things that he can fix in time.
Listen, man, I don't know, man. This review right here, let me take this up. I might just have to walk away. Because, let me show you. But I rate his boxing IQ 86. So finally we can agree on something, man. All right.
This looks like a Joseph Parker right here.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like a Joseph Parker.
Yeah, this looks like a Joseph Parker. Definitely does. I would give him more heart.
Yeah, that's respectable. 87 overall.
I mean, it's all right. Now that I look at it, I don't know. I think that's what I have him, 87. So
87.
Mm-hmm. All right, man.
That was a good video, man. We did spend a lot of time on Joseph Parker. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And also check out our podcast, on all major streaming services. This is really getting intense. It's the Boxing Bros.